Hey everybody, Scorpion here. So this is the beginning of the SHTF survival series. It started with Pirate Stacker, so if you missed him, make sure you go back and check his video. When mine goes off, it goes to Patriotic Stacker, then Liberty Stack, and then Triple P. That are the ones that we have listed at this time. We may add to it, but links will be below so y'all can find everything. This first video that I'm doing is going to be on water. Hope y'all enjoy and I hope it helps. Alright, so one way that I prepare water in a bad situation, if I know something's coming, and this only works if you know something's coming. I have a couple of these, and you can find these around where I find them. I get them for free. So over at my dad's house we have a whole stack of them, but not only are they good for watering the pigs and cows, they're good for storing water. Now you got to make sure they're rinsed good, because originally there was chemicals in them. You got to make sure they're good and clean, that smell's gone away. I normally open them and let them vent good a few weeks or whatever after I've washed them a bunch of times. But this is a good way to have some water on standby at your house in case your well goes out, in case there's a ice storm coming, in case there's a hurricane coming. You have no idea how much water you use until you get to where you need that water. So I've got the plugs for these. They screw on. I'm sure y'all can see the threads there. I've got a pump downstairs, which I'm going to show y'all, that will go on this, so it'll pump the water out. And I've got the tops that go on both of these. I've got them stored, so if I know something's coming, that's what I do. Fill up a couple of these. I've got some extra water. Probably wouldn't drink this necessarily unless I absolutely had to. There are other ways of having drinking water, but I'm also show you the chemicals that you can put in this, and it will keep it good for a few years. So this is one way just to make sure you're safe. And if you're in an area that this stuff happens often, you may want to go ahead and store you a couple of them, put those chemicals in there, seal them up, and you've got good water in a bad situation. So here's a second way of having some water around and on standby. You can buy this stuff pretty cheap, stack it up in a corner. 5 or 6 packs of these would probably last you a week or so, just as drinking water, just as a way to have some water sitting around. If you have a basement, take it and stack it up in the basement where it's out the way. It'll actually be kind of cool if it's sitting down in the basement too. We normally keep a refrigerator full of these because we go through them all the time. Well, the rest of the family does. I don't necessarily go through that much, but this is a second way. So don't count that out. That's good drinking water. It's also portable drinking water in case you need to run out the house down in the field or whatever. Always good to have around. So I was suggesting having some of this around the house. So here's another way, and this hasn't been washed out very well, at least. But I mean, most of us drink milk, use it in cooking something. You can take some of these and refill them with water. And if you don't get them washed out good, you've got water, but it's, you're going to have to boil it or something because it's going to have bacteria in it. But if you're going to use it for something like flushing a toilet or something like that, then, a few of these around all of a sudden become real handy, whether it's potable water or not potable water. I do suggest to use the ones that's got the screw-on cap. You can also buy ready-filled, I think it's 3 to a box, water. So it's 3 gallons in a box. You can go to the store and buy that. There's quite a few of those stacked up would definitely be good. But I always try to remember, you know, potable water or drinking water and non-potable water. So, you know, here at my house, I have something that not everybody has, but it's something people may want to think about. Where's your nearest stream, creek, pond, river, somewhere where you can go, you know, get you 5 gallons for flushing the toilet or whatever. Your streams, they're normally pretty clean. It doesn't take but a few foot of water running over those rocks and stuff in a stream for it to become clean and drinkable. So even if somebody up the stream was polluting, you know, I'd say small amounts of pollution, it gets cleaned up as it comes downstream. So that gives you like 4 different sources to think of for your water if something bad would be to happen. I've got a pond back behind my house, so I know I've got water I can access if I need to, for my animals to drink. For us to drink, I could boil it. Of course, I'm gonna have to build a fire for that, because if you don't have water, you ain't got no electricity. Use it for cooking, use it for whatever I had to, and the pond would be a last source. A stream or a creek would be cleaner. Ponds tend to be stagnant, grow all kinds of bacteria, and you definitely have to boil that or put chemicals in it to clean it. And if I put chemicals in it to clean it, it's not my first choice of something to drink. So few items there for you to think about. But there's a little stream that feeds my pond. I would probably get my water from that. If I just needed non-potable water for flushing toilets and stuff, I'd get that from the pond. But most of the time, or so far, anytime we've had a big storm or anything like that, I've had enough storage of water at the house. We're pretty good about filling the bathtubs up with water, having a couple 5-gallon buckets of water. That tends to run the bathroom, you know, for everybody to handle their business in. If you're going to be a long time without water, you may not want to flush every single time. You may want to wait till, you know, it's been used a couple times before you flush it. That's always another option that saves water in that short period of time, that week, 2 weeks, or whatever, that you're in that bad situation. And I'm going to bring y'all those chemicals. I'll show you the chemicals and a couple other things that should help out. Always worth having around, because you never know what may or may not happen. So for your containers outside, or I say outside, the one I showed you that was outside, this just kind of gives you information on, you know, max temp it'll take and all that good stuff. But as I said, this will screw down on the pump. Now if you remember the threads were on the inside, so you've got to get a piece that goes in between the two so they fit together, you know, properly. I actually think that's made to screw on there. So I've got a piece I can glue in here if I want, and it'll screw down into that barrel, and it sits there, you know, without any problem. Tubes go on the bottom here, reaches down in the water, so you don't have any problem getting in the water. They send you fittings and clamps and stuff, make sure nothing leaks, and they put those tubes together so it reaches down further. And this is your piece that comes off the top. as so. So you can, this is down, this runs down in the barrel, and you can pump that water out by hand, and it comes out here. I keep my stuff stored, but as you see, you just pump it by hand, and it comes in and out, and pumps that water up and out the tube. And you can refill a gallon jug, you can fill a 5-gallon thing, come out with a glass, whatever you want. So that's how you get the water back out of those cans that are sealed. Here's your water preserver concentrate. So for one of those jugs, I would have to put the whole bottle in there. It's got all your precautions on there. So it's 55-gallon, and that'll preserve that water, keep it from getting stagnant for 5 years. So if you did that, once every 5 years, it's not going to put you out of much money just to have 55 gallons of water sitting where you can get to it. Now, 55 gallons of water is not that much when you start thinking about cooking and bathroom and drinking and, all that stuff. But there is that. So, what if you're out somewhere by yourself, you're not at home, and you need water? Whether you're in the woods, camping, hunting, hiking, fishing, or it's an emergency situation, whatever, So, here's a water straw. It's made for one person, and it's sealed. So it says, water during emergency, earthquake, tsunami, hurricane, other disasters, travel with water filter straw for protection, and drink clean water. Clean water is a must for our survival. So it tells you how many gallons it's good for. Not that you're really going to know while you're sucking water through it. But it's good for a pretty good while. It'll filter quite a few gallons of water. Doesn't matter where you're drinking from. You can drink from anything. A pond, stagnant water, whatever. This will clean it up. And if you're thinking, maybe a little more, this will filter 95% of the disease out. And this is made, you can actually, a bag comes in this. Let's open this up. But this is 100,000 gallons of water. This is more than that straw. So they give you a bag. Screw your filter right onto there. Fill your bag up, screw your filter on, and go to drinking. That simple. Good for 100,000 gallons. It also shows that you can screw it onto bottles. You can use the straw. It's got a straw attachment here. You can use it in line with your backpack type. So yeah, different ideas. If you need links for any of this stuff, me, Pirate, Stacker, Triple P, any of us, we'll get back to you. Just shoot us an email. Buy a couple of them, especially if you got a couple people in your family. Stuff is good to have around. If you make, SHTF bags, it's good to have a couple in those. So it's already there. All you gotta do is grab the bag and go. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, let me go get my water straw or my life straw or whatever. It's already in the bag with everything else if you have to hit the road and take off for whatever reason. There it is. So, just little SHTF stuff for y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope it was good information for y'all. To me, water is number one. Without it, we're not going to be around long. What, 24, 48 hours? And that's going to be about it. Y'all take care.